Greetings, everyone, and welcome. And let me begin by saying this. This is not clickbait. This is the reality, and this is facts only. Donald Trump got it wrong. And now he is starting to recognize it. As we have discussed for months and months, even leading up to the American election, it will not be possible to change this war in 24 hours. And finally,
Слава Україні!
Donald Trump recognizing it and personally stating it out of his mouth. Guys, we're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Macron. We're going to talk about Schultz. We're going to talk about Zelenskyy, Yermak, and give you a facts-only update. But guys, everything you're hearing in mainstream media, you need to not listen to it, or listen to it with caution. Listen to it slowly. Try to digest and pull your information, especially in regard to the war in Ukraine, Syria, Iran, you name it, etc., etc. Pull your sources from many places so that you can get the real story. Let's jump straight to it. What about Trump and the USA? What about Trump getting it wrong? Trump being interviewed, Trump being questioned. There are lots of talks happening behind the scenes with Donald Trump right now and his team in regard to Ukraine, in regard to Russia, in regard to Syria, in regard to Iran. And in fact, as I am recording this video right now, breaking news coming out that Trump is even hinting that he would not oppose an American action against the nation of Iran. Guys, the bottom line is this entire region, Russia, straight down through Ukraine, through the Black Sea, Turkey getting so involved, Syria, down through Israel, all the way down through Yemen and on into Africa. That swath of the world is a boiling fire. Syria now falling into complete chaos. I have so many horrible videos of the factions killing each other, public murders in the streets, things that we would see 20 years ago of evil with ISIS. Guys, it's all unfolding right in front of our faces. Now, let's get back to what was Trump wrong about. Well, here's the information and the facts. He said, I oppose strikes on Russia with American long-range missiles. It only makes the situation worse. I will use the support of Ukraine as a lever of pressure on the Russian Federation during the negotiations on ending the war. During the negotiations on ending the war, remember, he said, I will end it in 24 hours. He speaks directly to that in just a moment. Trump responded to the question of whether he would abandon Ukraine. So if any of you are out there wondering, is Trump going to abandon Ukraine? Quote, I want to make a deal. Of course, that's Donald Trump. And the only way is to not withdraw support. Not withdraw support. Now, I am correlating this, guys, to some information I'm going to share with you in regard to Schultz and Macron and Donald Tusk in Poland in just a moment. He says, I will not withdraw support. He noted that he is using the United States support for Ukraine as a leverage against Russia in negotiations to end the war. And then finally, over there on the right, finally, Trump stated that ending the war in 24 hours as promised turned out to be more difficult than he expected. Well, I'm thankful that he admitted that, but maybe he should just have asked some of us who were working there, or maybe asked Ukraine, maybe explored it a little bit more. The fact is, there was not a snowball's chance in Hades he was ending this war in 24 hours. This is a war for sovereignty. This is a war for freedom. This is a war for culture. This is a war against genocide. This is not a regional skirmish. I think he's now learning that. Sorry, he said, can't end this one in 24 hours. Let me interpret that. I was wrong. What do we say to that?
Слава Україні!
Now, let me get you to the next thing, because all of this is connected today. Today, a huge day of news. What about Ukraine? This picture to the right, you're seeing Andrei Yermak. Of course, you recognize his photo on the team there with Zelenskyy. Currently, Ukraine is not ready for negotiations. I repeat, not ready for negotiations with Russia regarding the end of the war in context of strong negotiating positions. We have a lack of weapons, as well as no clear security guarantees that the Russian Federation will not attack us again in 2 or 3 years. Guys, that's the fact. No security guarantees. Yermak even stated yesterday, we haven't even heard a real plan. He's not even acknowledging the Kellogg plan. We haven't even heard a real plan. And now the world is waking up to this truth, and it is good. Ukraine not ready. They want to be in strong position. What do they always say? Peace through strength. They want their territory back. They want their people back. They want their stolen children returned. They want the genocide to end. Guys, it's a long list of valid, necessary objectives for this war to end. That's where Ukraine is. So you've had Trump, and now you've had Ukraine. Now, what about Germany? All of this happening today. Olaf Scholz coming out and saying, I will call Putin again if needed. The previous conversation was disappointing because he just repeated all of his formulas and plans over and over again. Quote from Scholz, let me think about that a second. That sounds just like Adolf Hitler in World War II, a lunatic. He would go off on rampages, repeating his plans over and over. And Scholz saying, all he did is just repeat his formulas and plans over and over and over again. Scholz did restate that the telephone conversation was necessary, but why? In particular, to make it clear to Putin that Putin cannot hope for a weakening of German support for Ukraine. So guys, listen to this now. Trump, I got it wrong. Can't end it in 24 hours. The best thing we can do is continue to support Ukraine. Yermak, we're not ready. We're not strong enough. We have no security guarantees. We have no real plan. Scholz, I wanted Putin to know that we're standing with Ukraine. Guys, this is good news. And to go to the next one, Poland and France. Everybody, you've seen it in the news. Macron going to meet with Donald Tusk, and we're going to talk about sending in troops like 5 brigades, 12,000 per brigade, 40,000 into the DMZ line. The French president came to Warsaw to discuss sending peacekeepers to the DMZ line in Ukraine after the end of the war. What did Tusk say? Quote, here it is for you. Just happened, guys. Poland does not plan to send troops to Ukraine after the ceasefire. Let me repeat that. Poland does not plan to send troops to Ukraine after the ceasefire. I remind you guys that Poland has most likely the strongest army in Europe. That was built up during the early stages of this war in Ukraine. Yes, Ukraine has the most technologically advanced army in Ukraine, in Europe, but Poland has one of the top, let's just be fair and honest, one of the top armies in Europe. And Tusk saying, no, we're not sending our troops to the DMZ line, even after a ceasefire. And quote now, I want to take this opportunity to put an end to speculation about the presence of troops of this or that country in Ukraine after a truce, ceasefire, or peace is reached. Decisions on Poland's actions will be made in Warsaw, and only in Warsaw. We are not planning such actions at the moment, said Donald Tusk. And then, guys, here's another one. Tusk also emphasized that Ukraine should participate in all peace negotiations. Exactly what Zelenskyy said, exactly what Yermak said. You can't talk about our peace if we are not at the table. Guys, things are rapidly changing over the last 24 hours for a positive turn for Ukraine. I think the world's waking up.
Slava Ukraini!
Now, what did Macron say? Let's go there. Macron said, strong security in Ukraine is strong security in Europe. French president, after meeting with Polish prime minister, points out the need to provide Kyiv with adequate security guarantees. Exactly what Yermak was saying. We don't have any security guarantees. We've heard nothing. Macron saying we must provide Ukraine with security guarantees. We must work closely with the United States. Trump earlier saying, I got it wrong, can't end it in 24 hours. The best thing we can do is to support Ukraine. Of course, in our close contacts with Ukraine to find a solution that takes into account the interest of Ukraine, the sovereignty of this country, as well as the interest of Europeans and the security of Europe. This is the philosophy we are going to focus on, Emmanuel Macron emphasized. Why all of a sudden in 24 hours did all of these world leaders get bold? Why did they all of a sudden start saying what we have been longing to hear? We stand with Ukraine. We will supply. We will provide. We will fight for security guarantees. We will let Russia know that we're standing. France is standing. Germany is standing. Poland is standing. The U.S. is standing. Even through the transition and the chaos and the misunderstanding that we have no idea what's going to happen in America come January 20th. Zero. But we can tell you this. Today, Trump saying, I was wrong. I couldn't end it in 24 hours. And we will support Ukraine. Guys, huge day. Why is that happening? Maybe the fall of Syria had something to do with it. Maybe the realization from these world nations and they're talking behind closed doors that, hey, Russia can be defeated, not just pushed back and an agreement, but defeated. Guys, huge day. And while all of this is happening, what is Volodymyr Zelenskyy doing? Volodymyr Zelenskyy today is letting Trump talk. He is letting Yermak talk. He's letting Schultz talk, Macron, Donald Tusk. And where is Zelenskyy? On the front lines, visiting soldiers, handing out awards. You see a picture of him right here. What is he doing? He is in a bunker on the front line in the Zaporizhia region, one of the hottest and hardest places, congratulating his troops that are fighting, giving them some awards, having coffee with them. From there, he visited the first underground hospital in all of Ukraine. That is what Zelenskyy was doing today while the world leaders are talking. Guys, this is a good day. Some good things are happening. Finally, mobilization news. This is a huge battle. The United States saying, hey, we want to send you more stuff, but you've got to lower the mobilization age. You've got to get beyond 25. Zelenskyy says, I don't want to go to 18. I don't want to take it down there. But what's happening now? The general staff does not plan to lower the mobilization age, but they want to attract more volunteers aged 18 to 25. Maybe we can work out a plan. Such volunteers in this age group will receive the first payment in the amount of $500,000 hryvnia. And yes, H sounds G. Not a mistake there. Guys, in Ukraine, that is a massive amount of money. They will receive various benefits, affordable loans, free education, longer vacations, and the list goes on and on. After a year of service, these volunteers would then have a different protocol for continuing with the military or not. Guys, that is good news. This is where we're at today. Not clickbait. No, Trump was wrong. Trump was absolutely wrong. And he admitted it. Macron, Schultz, Tusk, Yermak, Zelenskyy, tons of things happening today that are positive for Ukraine. I hope this video finds you well. Thank you for caring for Ukraine. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, all of those things, and helping us to continue to get the truth out. I remind you, it's just a couple of weeks away before I will be heading back to Ukraine, and we'll be reporting to you directly from the front, lives, all of that, as we drop aid and carry your love and your care there. Thank you for being with us. Have a good day.